Hey ladies, so today I want to talk about pretty privilege versus sexualization. This video is inspired by Exoticals United and her recent video on pretty privilege. She made an amazing point that a lot of people get attractiveness, like real attractiveness, real pretty privilege, confused with sexualization. And I wanted to discuss that today because I think in the era of social media where we're seeing a lot of women and men sexualizing themselves for attention, praise, money. OnlyFans is on the up and up. I think the lines are getting blurred as to what is actually beauty and what is actually desirability and what is sexualization. Sexualization, ladies, is tied to lust. Lust is a very low vibration. Nothing good comes from lusting. Beauty, on the other hand, is an innate trait that you have that opens doors for you. It demands respect from people. It gives you opportunities that are sometimes unfair. You have unfair advantages. You are treated like a queen or a king. There is a different level of how you are perceived and treated based on your beauty as opposed to sexualization. People get the two mixed up, and there are a lot of people that like to claim they have pretty privilege, but they can never speak to the negative experiences they've had when it comes to their beauty, which is how you know some people may be lying. So I first want to start with sexualization and how a lot of people think that because people lust after them and their bodies, that means that they are better than other people. They look better. They are more attractive, more beautiful. When you reduce yourself to physical appearance only and what your physical can provide to people for money at that, or just for attention and praise and adoration, you are objectifying yourself, therefore others are going to objectify you. So people tend to think, oh, a lot of guys are hitting on me, or a lot of guys come up to me and want to talk to me, or a lot of people ask me to send them pictures of my body parts, or a lot of people are attempting to touch me inappropriately in public. Like, you'll be surprised what some people brag about when it comes to their bodies. And here's what I will say, ladies. There's a very fine line in what you should take as a compliment when it comes to people gratifying your body. If the first thing someone is noticing or calling out is your body and not your face, you should not be screaming pretty privilege. Okay? If people aren't hating on you, if people are scared to come up to you and approach you, you have pretty privilege. If you are leading with the fact that people ask you if you have an OnlyFans so they can subscribe, if people say that you should go strip or something, or if people try to do inappropriate things to you in public, you are being sexualized. That has nothing to do with pretty privilege. And so that's why a lot of times when you see people come on social media or even on YouTube and try to brag about how much people covet their bodies, or how many men come at them and tell them how gorgeous their bodies are, usually the men are looking at the body parts that they're sexualizing. They're not looking at you. They're not wanting to get to know you on a deeper level. They're not fascinated by your face card and by the beauty that you're exuding from the inside out. They're looking at your boobs and your ass. Simple. The best compliment you can get is, you're so pretty. You have such a pretty face. You have such a gorgeous face. Not, damn, that ass is fat. Damn, them titties sitting up. Damn, your waist is tiny as fuck. Damn, look at that ratio. You know what I'm saying? Those are all male-centered compliments that I feel a lot of male-centered women tend to grapple onto and they cling onto because they think that means that they're valuable or desirable for their beauty. And they get it mixed up that, no, baby, you're being objectified. And that's why a lot of times male-centered women who lead with their body parts have a lot of energy for actually beautiful women, for gorgeous girls. And I'm not saying that, if you have a banging body, that means that you're not cute or you're not pretty. But there are some people who use their body for lust purposes and use the gratification that they get from people when it comes to their body to make themselves believe that they have pretty privilege, when those two things are completely different. The women who are actually beautiful don't have to do a lot. The women who are actually beautiful don't have to say a lot. And that's how you'll know the difference. You'll know the difference because usually the women who can only bring their bodies to the table usually have terrible personalities. The face card don't be hitting like that. And they lead with what they can offer in the bedroom or how men tell them they look. So they go off of what men are telling them they are instead of how society as a whole treats them. You know you have real beauty and real pretty privilege when society as a whole treats you as such. If you're not treated universally, because pretty privilege is universal, okay? Beauty is universal. So no matter where you go, no matter what rooms you enter, you're going to be highly sought after and treated with respect, and people are going to fawn over you when you actually have a beautiful face and a beautiful energy about you. When you actually carry pretty privilege, you're going to see the world open up for you. Doors are going to open up for you. People may not treat you the best, especially women, because they're mad you have privilege. Like, these are the things that you will expect when you actually have pretty privilege. When you don't have pretty privilege, you get treated like an object. Simple. If you are leading with your body and if you are leading with sexualization, you get treated like an object. Being treated like an object and being treated like a princess are two different things. And we got to get the mix-up fixed. It's because a lot of people have it messed up. So this is what I will leave you with, ladies. Sexualization is about intent. So when people's attention are focused only on your body or your sexuality, they're oftentimes just reducing you to how you look, your appearance. They're not really checking for anything other than what your body can do in the bedroom or the feelings that you can elicit out of them sexually. It is a very objectifying experience when people look at you in that way, and some women find value in getting attention in that way. And that's the number one sign that someone lacks pretty privilege, because they are not using actual beauty, they're using objectification to fill a void and to feel validated. Pretty privilege, on the other hand, is more about the advantage of being deemed attractive by society. So like I was saying before, how does society react to you? How does society treat you? Do they roll out the red carpet for you? No matter where you go, no matter what country you're in, do people think you're gorgeous? Do people go out of their way to compliment you? Are people giving you preferential treatment? Sometimes this can seem unfair, but that is a huge proponent of pretty privilege, unfair advantages. If you don't have unfair advantages and if you are just doing things with your body, I hate to break it to you, that's not pretty privilege. You are being objectified. Pretty privilege is all about the perks that you might get just because you fit into beauty standards. So I hope this clears things up. When my gorgeous girls go out into the world and you are targeted by people because of your beauty, and I know I've dealt with this when I was younger. I dealt with girls who would objectify themselves for male attention, who were extremely popular. And it's because they were having sex at young ages. They were always around guys. The guys would always come to the school to pick them up, to see them. And it was always about sex. It was never about love or genuine connection. They were never treated extremely well by society or by, people in school. It was always about what they were doing with their bodies and the types of guys that would be interested in them, that made them popular and made them seem like they had value. But, fast forward, we get into adulthood, baby, those same people are either pregnant or fat or losers. And the women who were beautiful but maybe didn't have all that body or didn't sexualize themselves at a young age for male attention and male praise are now shining and glowing and had a glow up. And it's just so crazy how the tables turn. So ladies, drop down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to have a conversation further. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.